Oh, well, hello there, beautiful human, and welcome to your yoga practice. I am Andrea Dawn, and this is our I don't feel like practicing practice. That's how I feel today. I don't feel like practicing, and oftentimes life is doing maybe what we don't feel like doing. And our practice will help us move through that with greater joy and greater ease. So it's just about the commitment of getting on your mat. So today we're going to start lying down. Come on down onto your back. Bring the soles of your feet together, your knees out wide. Bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your chest. And just begin to arrive into this moment, into your body, into your breath. As you do that, I'm going to sing an Om for you. And Om is the sound of the cosmos, of the universe, and we are just aligning our own frequency with that of the universe. And now take your hands to your outer thighs, close the legs, hug the knees into your chest, give yourself a little squeeze, roll from side to side. Extend the legs straight up into the air and then open the legs out to a V. And now we're just going to do what I call the swivel. So you're going to swivel the hips. So as the right hip comes up, the left lowers. As the left comes up, the right lowers. And if this feels like a lot, you can use your hands for support on your outer thighs as you do this. So oftentimes just getting on our mat and moving a little bit is all we need to move that stuck and stagnant energy. Good, then bring the legs back together. Hug the right knee into the chest and let the left leg fall all the way down onto the mat. And then you might take this right knee a little bit more up towards the right armpit. Tune in with your breath. Remember, your breath is the bridge. It's the link between the body and the mind. So the more we walk that bridge, the more unified we become in experiencing ourselves as a whole being. So in yoga, we break it down, we experience all of our parts, and then we put it all together so that as we make our way through life, we're not fragmented. All right, then let's extend the right leg up into the air. Give a few flex and points. Circle one direction, circle the other direction, and then move the leg towards the midline. So for me, by doing this, I start to feel a little bit more feeling in my IT band. And you can experiment and explore with keeping the foot pointed or flexed, or that in-between place, which is where the foot is pointed, but you're drawing the toes back towards your face. That's like the foint or the Barbie foot. And then rather than wanting or desiring a specific feeling, we just feel what we feel and where we feel it. And see if we can just make those observations without attaching like or disliking to it. Good, now we'll take that leg and cross it all the way over the body as you bring the arms out to a T or cactus arms. For some of us, that might be way too much, and you can prop underneath this leg, so you could use a pillow, or you could even use the hand and rest the leg onto the hand. Now, once the arms are out to a T or cactus arms, take your gaze over the right shoulder. Your gaze, wherever you place that in yoga, it's called your drishti, and usually there's a spot that's helpful for that. Sometimes that spot is closing the eyes and maybe focusing the attention on the third eye, or what I like to call the first eye, that space in between your eyebrows. Oftentimes when we see so much around us, it's distracting. And this practice is all about going inward and exploring this whole internal universe that we have. And now let's flip onto the left side body. So you're going to roll over onto the left side body. You'll bring this right hand around and then slide the left arm out from underneath you and place the hand underneath the ear. We're going to make this into a quad stretch where you bend the left knee or the bottom knee and take the right hand around for the foot. So I'm bringing the heel in towards the bum and the knee is pointing away from me towards the bottom of the mat. Notice if you're arcing into your low back. So see if you can keep more of a neutral spine. Good, and then let that go. We'll roll back onto the back, hug the knees into the chest, give yourself another little squeeze. This time extend the legs up into there and give them a good shake out. Really getting that chi and the blood flowing and moving. And then we'll take the left knee, hug that into the chest and extend the right leg out long. And again, that might be plenty of sensation, or you could draw the knee up a little bit more towards the armpit. So one of the questions you can ask yourself during your practices is, how much feeling is enough feeling? Am I a feeling junkie? Do I always go to the very edge because I just want to feel the most I can possibly feel because that's been programmed into me as that is better? That's not always the case. So just noticing those tendencies about yourself. Do you tend to not really go into things because you're more of an avoidant, right? So it's just finding that balance. And then we'll extend the left leg up into the air. The hand can be behind the hamstring, the knee, the calf. Give a few flex and points. A few circle outs, both directions. And then bring that leg in towards the midline. And here again, you can explore with how the foot is positioned. Is it just relaxed, flex, point, or in the point? Good, and now we'll take the leg all the way across the body for our spinal twist, where you might prop the leg underneath you. Take the arms out to a T or cactus arms. So sometimes when we do that, there's a big stretch in the shoulder, and that might feel like too much for some of us that have a really tight chest. So what you can always do is bend the elbow and place the hand on the side body if that feels like too much. And then take the gaze and shift it over the left shoulder. And it's just like you're this researcher, you're this scientist of yourself, exploring where you feel what. And thinking that we already know the answer is often what causes the suffering or the expectation. And tends for then our experience to be way more mind-based than felt and being like alive in the actual moment of life. Okay, we're going to turn this into a quad stretch. So turn onto the right side body. You'll slide this right hand out from underneath you and place the hand underneath the ear. And then bend the bottom leg. Take the hand towards the bum. So often we spend our days and our time learning about other people, and we haven't taken all of that same amount of time to learn about ourselves. So just think about all of the gifts we've been giving in our operating system of us, and then really learning how to use our equipment most effectively and efficiently, because we only have so much time and energy in the day. So the more efficiently we can use it, the better experience we get to have. Okay, release that. Come back onto your back. This time you'll bend your knees so that your heels are underneath your knees. Cross your right ankle over your left knee into a figure four. Then lift that figure four up towards your chest. That might be plenty, or you can use the hands for assistance behind the left hamstring or in front of the left shin. So oftentimes this figure four kind of gets off to the right a little bit. So you might bring it a little towards the center, or just experiment with these tiny micro movements of moving that whole system of the figure four and seeing how that it changes the feeling. Remember, that part is your agency. That's where you make this practice your own. Good, then step the sole of the left foot down and we'll cross this right knee all the way over the left. So it's like I'm seated in a chair kind of cross. And then we'll lift it back up. Now we're gonna take the feet out wide. The hands can go to the outer shins, the outer ankles, and we'll draw the legs away from one another. And then you might notice like you're using a lot of energy. I notice I'm using my biceps. So I'm just gonna see if I can relax my chest and my biceps while still drawing downward. And that's that management of energy. Where am I using excess energy and where could I redistribute it? So if I'm using excess energy to have my brow furrowed all day long, I could take that energy and use it for an upward placement of my lips, which just making that little smile on my face changes my entire experience. All right, well, unravel the legs, set the feet down, give yourself a few windshield wipers. And then we'll switch sides. Heel toe the feet back in, cross the left ankle over the right knee. Find your figure four, lift it up, maybe stay, maybe use the hands as assistance. And that's one of my very favorite things about the entire yoga practice is that it promotes this self-reliability, self-responsibility. I am in charge of my experience. I am in charge of my life, and the way that I get to experience each moment throughout the day is completely up to me. I'm not in control of what anybody else does, but I am in control of the way that it affects me. Then we'll step that down and cross the left knee all the way over the right, so you're coming back into that deep cross. Then we'll lift it back up, spread the feet away from one another, and take the hands to the knees or the outer shins or the outer ankles. You know, when I stop putting expectations on other people to make my life the way I want it, then I take myself completely out of that victim mode or that blaming mode. And not only is that empowering, but it also just gives me so much more joy. And then I notice that joy spread to others because they don't feel the pressure of me wanting something from them. All right, well, let that go. Set the feet down. Give yourself a few windshield wipers from side to side. And then bring your feet back in so that the heels are underneath the knees, but slightly forward of the knees. And now we're just gonna do some rolling bridges. So as you press down through your feet, press down through your low back. Now start to lift the bum, the low back, the middle back, the upper back, and as you do, lift the arms overhead. And then lower back down, bring the arms back down. And then we'll just move that with our breath. One more round. And then all the way back down. And we'll come back just the way we began into our Supta Baddha Konasana, where the soles of the feet together and the knees are out wide. This time, let's take the left hand and the right hand on top of the left hand and just do some slow, gentle circles clockwise around your belly. And then you might release the arms and take a Shavasana right from here, or extend the legs out long. And if you have some time, taking a few more moments to integrate. And hopefully just this small amount of movement gave you a little bit more ease and peace in your body today. It is always a privilege, a blessing, and an honor to yoga with you. My heart sees and feels and smiles to yours. Namaste, yogis.